Hi everybody, and welcome back to Lost Genre Reddit Stories. This post is from the subreddit Relationships and it's by user Deleted. I think my sister's boyfriend is lying about his degree. Dad wants to hire him. What should I do? My 27 female sister Nina, 30 female, is dating Noah, 32 male. They've been together for 3 years. Noah claims to have a degree in a certain field. I think he's lying because, 1, I tried to have a conversation with Noah about his degree in our first meeting and he said that he didn't want to talk about work. At the time, he was working in retail where he had stated these skills were not required. 2, when he told me what university he went to, I commented that I had a friend who went there around the same time and asked if he knew him. And Noah said that he misspoke and it was a different university, even though he'd named the first uni more than once. 3, he doesn't have any pictures of his graduation or his time at uni. He openly admits that his diploma is not in his possession. He claims that when he last moved, he pulled all of his uni stuff into the same box, which then got lost in the move, and he has yet to replace it. He lost it 3 years ago, so he hasn't replaced his diploma in 3 years and laments that he can't prove that he has this degree. I've suggested he contact his uni and ask, or use an online service to access his transcripts, and he responds that it's too much hassle. And 4, I googled Noah's name and the university. Noah claims to have worked on a couple of things while he was there and had his dissertation published, and nothing came up in my search. As I said, when he met my sister, he was working retail. Not knocking people who work retail, and I did myself until recently. But I was in a low-demand field and didn't expect to go right into my ideal career path. While Noah is in a high-demand field and claims to have worked at a major company in his chosen field for years before quitting at a time his industry was thriving. In theory, he should have had his pick of jobs, but chose to work retail, which he says he hates. I admit, all of these on their own can look innocent, but when you combine all of this, something feels off. My suspicion is a fake degree. I would stay out of it, except Dad, 55, has his own business, and there's a job available that requires someone with a degree similar to Noah's, so Dad has told me that he's going to offer Noah the job. It's Dad's choice, but I'm nervous. I do some work for Dad's company myself, so on a purely selfish level, I would like to not be screwed over by Noah. And on a less selfish level, this job Dad needs to fill affects everyone working there, so I would also like for the employees and the rest of my family to not be screwed over by Noah potentially being incompetent or shady. Dad views Noah as the son he never had, and while Nina and I are not close for a few reasons, but I would much rather address this now, even if I'm wrong, and leaving it for years and then deal with the amassed fallout. My hesitation is that I don't know how to approach it. Some relationships here are already strained, and I don't want to further strain things, but I don't know how to best go about this. How do I best present my concerns without causing even more problems? Who do I talk to first? Well, OP, in my opinion, if you need to choose who to talk to first, I would talk to your dad, because this isn't about your sister having a relationship with Noah, it's about your dad potentially hiring someone who isn't qualified properly for the job. That is, in the case that you are right and Noah is lying about his education. So I would make sure that you've got your talking points really thought out and then ask your dad for a one-on-one. Tell him that there's something that is kind of bothering you, like in the back of your head and you just can't shake it off, and ask him what he thinks about it. If he says he's not concerned about it, well, that's his decision and that's as far as you can go. But if your concerns do make a proper point to him and he follows through on some sort of research or whatever and finds out that Noah is in fact lying, then he'll probably not offer him a job and tell him to come clean to his daughter. At least that's what I would do if I was in your dad's shoes and something like this came up to me. Now, regarding your relationship with your sister, it might still take a hit. Because if Noah is lying, then your sister is gonna know that it was you who took it up to your dad, so she might get upset about that. And if he isn't lying and your sister still finds out what you did, well, it's gonna take a hit anyways. Now, if I was in your shoes, I would go to my dad and raise the concern. And what about you guys? What would you do if you were in OP's situation, or what would you recommend that she do? Let me know in the comment section, and now let's move on to the community comments to see what they said. Ancient Regular 4007 says, does the possible pretend degree have a direct connection with the job your dad wants to hire him for? Honestly, just mention to your dad that a few things don't add up and get confirmation of his degree. It really won't be difficult to prove, and if he's running a proper business, he'd want to make sure of that too. Edit. Your dad should be the one to get the proof of the degree. I'm sure that you've noted in the post almost does sound like a vendetta and that you're out to prove he's dodgy. Just remember, if you're wrong and you go all in gung-ho, that will backfire on you. And Opie responds, yes, Dad would not even think about hiring him for this job if he didn't have this degree. I'm sure Dad will get Noah to give him his documents just so he has them, but I could see Noah giving him a bit about losing his diploma and Dad not pushing it because it's Noah. I worked for Dad for about 2 years before he got my documents because I just forgot. Edit to add, I'll leave it to Dad. At first I brushed it off and I thought he was dodgy, and after that there could be some confirmation bias. I don't want to piss off Nina, so I'll just leave it in Dad's hands, but I don't know if Dad will follow up, to be honest. Groundbreaking Photo 4 says, depending on the area your dad's business is in, he could get in legal trouble for having an unqualified person working there. For example, if he was required to do calculations. I would have a quiet word with your dad. Say you suspect he doesn't have a degree and tell him he will need to produce a copy of the degree for legal reasons. Another way around it would be if he asked him for references for the high-level place he was supposed to have worked. Just tell your dad you don't want to see him getting badly stung and end up affecting your sister's relationship. And Opie responds, if I am right that Noah is faking and Dad hires him, Dad could get into some legal trouble and get a fine or even have to step down from the company. And that's a best case scenario where Noah is a good worker and does have everything right but just doesn't have the degree to back it up. If Noah has shadier intentions, he could tank the business, make a profit, and Dad would be on the hook for any consequences. I'll talk to Dad first and make sure he gets a copy of a transcript or diploma. But Dad is not great at putting his foot down with people, particularly family, so I will need to make sure Dad follows up. Universe Purse says, you saying the thing about getting his own university's name wrong convinced me right there. Something very fishy is likely, but you don't want to come in too hot with accusations. Just like everyone was saying, talk to your dad and advise him to do a check before the interview. Maybe it's just a personal thing, but for me, I don't think lying about getting a degree is normal, and that's a red flag for me. Makes me wonder what else he's lying about, but that's besides the point. And Opie responds, I wasn't sure about that one at first because the town he's studying in has a few universities and 2 of them have basically the same name, University of City Name and City Name University. But there's a 3rd university with a completely different name, and that's the one he switched to. He had to have been there for at least 3 years. It would be hard to get the name that badly wrong after giving consistent answers before then. I'll talk to Dad. I hope for Nina's sake that this is the only thing he's hiding, but the whole situation is really sus. Additional information from Opie's comments. I've suggested Noah get his transcript or a copy of the diploma. He says it's too much hassle to contact the uni and get it. I'll tell Dad to ask Noah, but Noah will probably give the same bit again. Now, in my case, I can have a fresh new transcript in about 5 minutes if I want to. Where we are in the world, all universities share a single website. Any university graduate should, hypothetically, be able to create an account that allows them to view their transcripts and diploma instantly. Noah claims that he cannot use this website because he graduated too late. Alumni can also call the university they attended and just ask for their transcript and have it in the post in about a week, but Noah claims this option is too much hassle. Also, in the hiring process, there would normally be a checkup for his employment, right to work, criminal record, references, and education is normally involved in this check. But Dad was lax on it with me because I'm his daughter and he knew all of it already. And he says Noah is the son he never had, so I could see him letting it slip with Noah too. My sister and I have a lot going on in our relationship. We've had our issues, and some of those issues still exist, but we love each other a lot, which is why I don't want this to feel like I'm trying to attack her. I am debating whether I should talk to her first, but I've not brought this up with her before now, due to these issues we've had. Alright, well, the community is pretty much in line. She needs to talk to her dad first. And OP gave us a bit more context regarding this whole situation and the hassle of getting the transcripts. So now, let's move on to the update to see what actually happened and how the story ends. I pretended to be Dad and used his credentials to access a degree verification service someone on here informed me of to try and find Noah. Nothing. I then messaged Dad, "Hi Dad, about Noah. If you want to offer him the job, go for it." But I used the website to try and verify his degree because Noah said it was a hassle and I thought I'd save you a step and nothing came up. Probably just a system error or I had the wrong spelling or something, but you're gonna need proof for the insurance people, so make sure you check it all out with Noah before he starts. If you need me to talk Noah through his first day, just let me know and I'll take the day off work to help. Love you, OP. Dad immediately realized what I was up to and called me, telling me to cut the BS. He asked me to walk him through it, so I laid it out the way I did in my post, with my reasons and the verification website, and I got him to look it up on his end too, on a different service, and he also couldn't find Noah. He thanked me for bringing this to his attention and asked me to leave the rest to him. He later told me that he called Noah, invited him over, offered him the job, and Noah accepted. He then said that the only thing he needed was proof of his degree. Noah gave the same bit about not having records on hand. Dad said that was fine. He was on Noah's uni's website and they had a number to call to get your records. So he asked Noah to make the call and Noah broke. He had gone to that university for 2 months. He started in October and dropped out in December. He regretted it badly and tried to go to a second university the next year, and again was there for 2 months before dropping out again. He had always meant to go back but never managed it. He accepted that job Dad offered because it sounded easy enough and he had those 4 months of basic information, so he figured he could go from there. Dad said he could not base his ability in this job on 2 repeated months of uni. Dad has no degree himself, so he doesn't judge people who don't, but he couldn't give Noah this job without appropriate qualifications. There were, however, other jobs within the company that Noah could do without qualifications that paid better than his existing retail job, though not as well as the job that required the degree. Dad said that if Noah wanted a job that didn't require a degree, he would give it to him. He also said that if Noah wanted to take that job and stay in it, that was fine and there would be room for growth without a degree. But if he wanted, he could go back to uni to get the degree needed for the degree job, which would be his after graduating. He said that the only thing he needed in exchange was for Noah to tell Nina the truth if he already hadn't. Noah said he'd think about it and left. He must have told Nina the truth because I got a call from her asking if I knew about this, what I had known, and when I had known it. I told the truth and we got into an argument and she blocked me. From past experience, she'll unblock me when she's ready and we can talk this all through then. Dad's grateful that I warned him, but we're both hoping that Noah takes Dad's offer because Dad wants Noah to be able to provide for Nina, and I'm hoping that Nina doesn't hate me. Extended from OP's comments. To clarify, he was not faking a PhD. In our country, you do a dissertation on your bachelor's, so he was saying he did a bachelor's and that dissertation was published, but even that was sus because that barely ever happens. A PhD is a thesis, usually. I understand integrity is important, and I'm still cautious that Noah may have lied about other things, so I will be keeping an eye out, but it seems like this was the only thing he lied about and was apologetic. And Dad feels he did it for the right reasons, and I trust Dad's judgment. Don't get me wrong, I'm not happy, but it's Dad's call, Dad's company. He wanted to give Noah a chance and I support his choice. If it's the wrong choice, Dad is going to have to learn that the hard way. But the job he offered Noah won't let Noah do much damage, and it would take a total dipstick to mess it up. However, I've never met someone with such as good a BS detector as Dad. It's not just me, no one can be slick with him and get away with it. I honestly think he might have already suspected something about Noah before I said anything, because he's just that good. Nina is not employed with the family business and does not want to be, and I'm only tangentially linked to it because I also don't want to be overly involved in it. Nina can take care of herself, but part of Noah's reasoning for faking, according to Dad, was that Nina has a degree and a well-paying job, and Noah makes about 1/3 of what she does, and he wants to be able to provide for her. as the current situation is that she's paying for about 75% of everything and Noah feels inadequate. So Dad wants to make sure that Noah is in a better position to provide in case something happens to Nina's employment, and that Nina does not have to pay for the bulk of everything, so helping Noah is helping Nina from that angle. Alright, well now we know that Noah was full of crap and Opie's dad I think handled it really well. So all the best to Noah in his new job, hopefully he wasn't lying about anything else and it all turns out okay. Thank you for sharing, Opie, and take care. Now let's move on to the next post. This post is from the subreddit Malicious Compliance and it's by user ExpensiveTheme7023. You want eye contact? Okay, sir. Background. I used to work retail in a DVD-CD store that rhymes with many, Australia. We had computers that we could use to find certain titles and artists in the store if we had them in stock, or we could even order from any of the other 300 plus stores in the country and have it shipped to the store. Many people would use this for older CDs or collector items that were harder to get. One day, an older bloke came in asking about a certain smaller 80s rock band that I can't remember. I looked on the computer for him and was able to track down their album names, which of those albums he wanted, located the album in stores around the country, and got his details to enter into the computer for when the albums arrived in store so that we could contact him. He thanked me and said that he was so happy that we could get these albums in for him and left the store. The next day, I get called into the boss's office because of a customer complaint. It was and is my only ever complaint in any job for the past 9 years of working. He had rung up and complained that while my service was lovely, I didn't make enough eye contact when I was using the computer. Cue Malicious Compliance. 3 days later, he came in because he had another band he wanted to order. Luckily, I was working. As soon as he walked in and I greeted him with the biggest smile and looked him straight in the eyes. When he asked if we had any of his bands in stock, I typed it into the computer while maintaining direct eye contact. It took me about 4 tries to find the right keyboard letters as I wasn't that great at touch typing. He was starting to get annoyed but didn't voice it. Then I had to search what store location these albums were at. That took another couple of attempts to type. I turned the computer monitor around to the point it looked like it was going to snap off. I had to move displays from the counter, which took more time, but finally I was able to set it up in such an angle that I could read it off with a quick glance, but also still maintaining eye contact. At this point, he started to squirm and look away, but I was only beginning. Next was his details and taking his deposit, normally $10. It took me a solid 6 attempts to enter his details into the system as you had to select each box to type in, and that was hard considering I wasn't looking. At this point, he had gone rather quiet and was looking at his shoes. When he handed me his money, I still maintained direct eye contact and even dropped it accidentally out of my hand, which then led me to awkwardly slap around the corner until my hand found it. Wouldn't want to break that eye contact looking for a few coins. After all the typing attempts, it took me an extra 10 minutes to serve him all because I couldn't look at what I was doing. To this day, I've seen him a couple of times, but he won't come to my register and he doesn't make eye contact or he hides in the aisles until I'm busy with another customer. A shame really, he had such lovely brown eyes. Well, Opie, I'm assuming you got a super good review after that. I mean, followed to the letter. Thank you for sharing, Opie. And it's that time that we've reached the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed today's stories. I really did enjoy reading them to you. So if you did, then don't be shy and go ahead and give the video a like. And don't forget to subscribe or even share this video with people that you might think will enjoy my storytelling. Also, if you have the time, go down to the video description and check out all the links I have for you, from our Discord community to my channel merch. And finally, I'd like to say thank you for watching. It really means a lot to me that you enjoy my videos. And having said all that, I'll see you guys in the next video.